What is going on, y'all, and welcome back to the Average Homeowner's YouTube channel. Spring has sprung, summer is almost here, and mosquitoes and bugs are waiting for you like the Undertaker in the ring waiting for his next wrestling match. But that's okay, because on today's episode, I'm gonna show you how to come out like Stone Cold, slam some beers, and take care of those nasty pests once and for all. Today we're going over 100% guaranteed ways to get rid of mosquitoes, bugs, pests, and other insects around your home in a few simple steps. So let's get into it. All right, before we get started, I have a bone to pick. 98% of you watch these videos, but don't subscribe to the channel. So if you could do me a favor and click that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up on this video, and we're gonna get right into how to make sure you take care of pests around your home this summer. All right, so today we're gonna be covering Spartan mosquito tubes, we're gonna be covering bifenthrin, we're gonna be covering where to put these chemicals, where to treat your home, and how to make sure you build a barrier to keep pests out of your home and away from your patio all season long. First up, Spartan mosquito tubes. Now, these can be controversial. There's tons of different stuff on YouTube about them, there's tons of different stuff on the internet. Do they work, do they not work? Has anyone ever seen a mosquito actually go into a Spartan mosquito tube? Well, I'll tell you this. In the acreage community we live in, I've used these for 2 years. My neighbors use them, everybody uses them. I used to work down on the Intercoastal Waterway, and when I did that, all the homeowners down there used these on their patios on the Intercoastal. And I can tell you, if it's good enough for those big old mosquitoes down there, it's probably gonna be good enough to take care of mosquitoes where you're at. So let's get into exactly how to use these, where to place them, and how often you need to replace them. As always, I've linked in the description below to everything I'm gonna be using here today, including the Spartan mosquito tubes, the bifenthrin, my phenomenal bright orange rubber gloves, and the DeWalt 20 volt max sprayer. This thing is a lifesaver. If you've been using a pump up sprayer, I'll tell you right now, click that link, make the investment. This uses the 20 volt max batteries and will absolutely save you when it comes to working that pump up sprayer if you have a large area to treat. But first, let's get into the Spartan mosquito tubes. So let's go ahead and first things first, glove up, safety first. Now, when you get these Spartan mosquito tubes, the first thing you're gonna do when you take them out of the box is make sure you have all the parts and pieces. The way that they're gonna come is you're gonna get either 2 or 4 of the actual mosquito tubes themselves, 2 or 4 of the hangers for the tubes. This year, they've actually switched to a plastic hanger, which I'm not a huge fan of. In previous years, they've always been metal hangers. And you're gonna have the perforated caps, which you're gonna end up putting on before you put these out around your home. So let's talk about prep first. What you're going to do is move the hangers and caps over to the side, and you're gonna wanna make sure you have a pitcher of warm or hot water. This was hot water when I brought it out of the house about 10 minutes ago. It's starting to cool down. So we've got warm water. The way that you mix Spartan mosquito tubes is every one has a water fill level on the back. You can see that, water fill level. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take the plastic cap off, and then there's no screen or seal inside. You're gonna fill each tube to the water fill level. Okay, I go just a little below it. Then you're gonna put the cap back on tight and make sure it's sealed, and you're gonna shake. And you're gonna mix the chemicals that are inside here up with the warm water. The warm water causes the start of the chemical reaction, and that's what's actually going to get the process started. We're gonna go ahead and do that with all of them, and then we'll move on to the next step. There's a wasp in here. Come on, dude. All right, so now that we've got them mixed, we're gonna move on to the next step. It's very simple. All you're gonna do is remove the plastic caps and replace them with the perforated black caps. Now be careful with these because now that the perforations are on there, they will spill. So be careful not to knock anything over. You can go ahead and toss the plastic caps. We don't need these white caps anymore. Some people do save them so that after these expire in 30 to 90 days, they can put them back on before they throw them away. But by that point, all of the chemical will be inert, so it shouldn't hurt anything just to toss it in the trash can. Okay, once you've got the perforated caps put on, you're gonna take your plastic hook and you're gonna snap in the side with the 2 prongs onto the tube. That's what's gonna hold it depending on where you choose to hang it. And I'm gonna get into that in a second because it's important to place these in certain areas. Okay, so let's talk about placement a little bit. One of the most important things is to not place these directly on your patio, directly on your home, or anything like that. You want to place them in an area that's 50 to 100 feet away from your patios. A lot of people like to hang them in trees. They like to put them on fence posts or on their fence in the back of their property. Those are all great places to put them. What I like to do, and I'm going to show you in just a second, is put them along my fence line. I put 2 of them halfway into the backyard, into the back 40 there. That's going to be a little over an acre, so moving it halfway back kind of protects our backyard up through the shop and the pool. And then I hang them on the front of the fence, which tends to protect our driveway and the dog run, so we don't have any issues with mosquitoes in those areas. If they want to get in the back, towards the back fence, that's not a big deal. We don't do a lot back there. We don't hang out back there. The only time we go back there is when the dogs are playing or when I mow, so that's the only time we'd ever need to worry about it. And I don't feel like investing in 6 of these every 30 to 90 days is that important, when 4 will do for the areas where we spend most of our time. Okay, so let's go get these put out. So like I said, you want to put these in places where they can be protected. They're not unsightly. They are bright orange tubes. So you want to put these in places where they're not unsightly, they're not eyesores, but they also get the job done. Obviously they're bright orange tubes, so they don't go totally unnoticeable. But what I like to do is place them on the fence over here between these fence posts. That way they're a little out of the way and they protect the walkway to our pool and shop. And when people come over, they don't have to worry about getting eaten alive by mosquitoes when they're trying to come over to the house. Another place I like to put them is at our backyard entry gate over here. This makes sure that this area is protected. I go back and forth a lot here, and we do have a little bit of natural water that tends to pool here as the water gets into the swale at our fence line. It's also where our pop-up drains are to get the water out of the pool area that builds up there. So I like to keep one over here just to be safe. And they just hang right on the fence line, no big deal. All right, let's go to the backyard and I'll show you where we put them over there. All right, next up, like I said, I like to go about halfway back in the yard here and hang one on the fence. That protects the back of the shop and part of the pool area. It doesn't make a huge difference for the pool side, but we're gonna hang one over there anyway to make sure that area is protected, especially over by the patio. Let's go get this last one put in place, and then we'll get to the bifenthrin. All right, this is gonna be our last one. It goes right here off the pool deck. As you can see, I've actually got one hanging there from the last time I did these. I missed it when I was taking them down, so we're just gonna go ahead and swap that one out with this one, and then we'll be done with our Spartan mosquito tube placement, and we'll get back in the shop and go over everything else you can do to treat for bugs, pests, fire ants, and anything that bifenthrin does, which is probably my favorite protect-all for your home, your lawn, everything. And like I said, that one's been out here for way too long, so dumping it out and throwing it away, not gonna be a big deal. Well, get that in a second. All right, we're back. We got our chemical measuring cup, still got our gloves on, and it is time to talk about one of my absolute favorite home pest defense products in the world of all time, the grand champion, the Mac Daddy of them all, bifenthrin. If you've watched this channel, you have heard me talk about this before. Probably haven't subscribed, so if you could do that, that'd be great. But you've heard me talk about bifenthrin. This stuff is an insecticide, a termiticide, which means it kills insects and termites. It kills darn near everything. I mean, this works on ants, it works on termites, it works on mosquitoes, it works on almost everything in your yard. What you wanna do with this is you wanna mix it. And like I said earlier, get you that big Mac Daddy pump up sprayer, get you that big DeWalt 20 volt max. Go with the yellow. You don't need no Milwaukee. Go with the yellow. Unless Milwaukee would like to start sponsoring these videos and change everything out, and then we can definitely have a discussion. But what you're gonna wanna do is whether you have a pump up sprayer, you mix this in a spray gun. If you have a small area, you could put it in a spray bottle. I like to use the big automatic sprayer because I have so much area to spray. But what I do with this is I go ahead and mix it up. I've got 2 gallons ready to mix here. I've already got the water in the sprayer. We're gonna mix it up. And then the areas that you spray are very, very important. I like to spray the entries to all the garages. So the shop, the house garage, spray the aprons where you come up to those. You can also spray this in flower beds. And it's very important to spray the bottom 2 feet of your house all the way along the perimeter. This is gonna help with any insect intrusion into the home. And one of the neat things about it is it's safe for kids and pets once dry. So you can spray this inside. A lot of people put this on their baseboards if they're having problems inside with any kind of bugs. What I find is that I like to spray it on the outside, very heavy, all the way around the house, and that is all the protection we need. Another key place to spray this is in flower beds. Spray it in the areas where the termites tend to gather, where you might have issues, where you get big ant beds. Also, when I'm spraying the yard with herbicides or fungicides, I like to throw some of this into the big pull-behind sprayer. That way I can treat the whole yard for mosquitoes. Also, every year before we have any type of party or gathering, I like to spray 10 to 12 feet around the area we're gonna be in the grass with this, with bifenthrin, because it helps treat for those mosquitoes in those areas. And while the Spartan mosquito tubes do a great job, this is just another way to ensure that you can protect those areas long term. Also, you only need to spray it every 2 to 3 months. In the summer, I spray every 2 months just because I don't want any of those pests coming up and causing an issue. And then in the winter, I go to every 3 months or so just to make sure our home's protected from anything trying to get in when it gets cold outside. Now with bifenthrin, I do like to have a little bit thicker emulsion. I like to have a little thicker mix for treatment. So I like to use 2 ounces per gallon. So we're gonna go ahead and measure 4 ounces in our chemical measuring cup, get it added to the sprayer. We're gonna get the battery put in, strap up, and go get to spraying. And I'm gonna show you exactly what you need to do to make sure you're treated for pests all year long. Just to be safe, let's mix it up. It's been a little while since I've used it. We wanna make sure we're not getting just anything settled on the top there. Okay, 4 ounces. Nope, a little extra. Not gonna hurt anything. And then also we had blue dye in here, so we made sure to rinse this really well. We had blue dye from when we did the Roundup video and sprayed the fence lines with Roundup. That 2025 video will be coming out here shortly, so be on the lookout for that. But you're gonna wanna make sure that's mixed up in your tank. Just don't splash it everywhere. Don't get it on yourself or your face. Make sure you have safety glasses on, like I don't right now because I forgot. But there we go. We got the sprayer ready. So let's tank up and go spray for some pests. Okay, you just heard it prime itself, so this is gonna be ready to go. Be careful not to hit your spray nozzle while you're trying to get tanked up. You don't want this sprayed all over, although inside the shop it's not gonna hurt anything. All right, let's go kill some termites and some mosquitoes and everything else. Another place I like to spray is actually the back patio. I know that's kind of random, but we do use it a lot during the summer, and we want to make sure that we don't have anything burrowing or building nests out there. So that's a really good spot to spray as well. It is clear, so you don't have to worry about any staining or anything like that. But first, like I said, we like to do the aprons to the garage. So The apron's going to be this area right here, the little entry. And what that does is it keeps creepies and crawlies from climbing into your shop, building nests in your garages, things like that. You can see we also have an entry door to the shop here, that little person door. We're gonna go ahead and spray that as well, just because anywhere a bug can penetrate, it will. So we're gonna get the bottom 2 feet all the way around, but we're also gonna go ahead and get the threshold to that door. Same thing, we're gonna get the aprons to these garages. Like I said, flower beds are also an incredibly important place to spray. We've got the wind blowing from the south right now, so we're gonna actually go and work south to north or left to right here and spray these. That way the drift doesn't waste our spray. And this isn't gonna hurt your plants. I mean, I would double check if you've got some really expensive or unique plants, but it never hurts any of our bushes, plants, or shrubs, so it's generally just a use all on everything. Another really important place to make sure you spray is your front patio and entry door area. You do have thresholds up underneath. We've got the rodent control there just to be safe. But if you ever have issues with pests coming in, under the doors is a place where that can definitely happen. So make sure to spray those as well. So we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna get the whole perimeter of the house sprayed. We're gonna get the back patio sprayed, and I will see you in a second back in the shop. And like I said, I like to spray the back patio, especially the bottom of these sliding glass doors and over there under all the access points into the outdoor kitchen. Apparently the dogs think the video's gone too long, so sorry about that. I'm gonna keep going and I'll see you in the shop in just a second. All right. How in the world is it already 95 degrees in South Texas at 10 in the morning? Anyway, that's it. That's your 2025 pest control, mosquito control lineup. Get it, use it, protect your home, get out there, do good things, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.